So yeah, I've just been laid off, and it sucks. Well, kind of. I've been making video games for almost 5 years now, and after 2 years in my last job I got fired. And this was purely because of objective economic reasons. But losing your job, your teammates, and the project you've poured so much blood and sweat into for hundreds of hours is still tough, no matter the reason. But it has been quite interesting to experience this process in my own flesh, when so much developers have to go through it these times. Because it has given me the time to think and experiment with different exercises to think about what I want to do with my career. So I decided to take notes of all this process to give you this complete layoff survival guide for game developers, in which we will learn how to cope with a layoff, how to decide what to do next with your career, and how to go through all this process in the most healthy and efficient way possible. One of the mantras I have in my life is that every feeling is there for a reason, and grieving is no more than a defense mechanism we humans have against losses, not only other humans but also our job or part of our identity. That's why I think it's crucial that you let yourself go through the 5 steps of the grieving process in order to fully recover from it. This being, first of all, denial, in which you cannot believe this is happening to yourself. Secondly, anger, you may be mad at your company or even your teammates. Then you enter into the bargain process, in which you think you can get that your job, or to go to the depression stage, in which you are just feeling sad for everything that has happened to you, and finally coming to the acceptance and finishing the grieving process. The tricky part about the grieving process is that it's not linear, and all these feelings are a lot mixed up in your head, and you end up each day with a lot of feelings and random thoughts all over your head. In one moment you are sad, the next one you are angry, and all these feelings and thoughts are combined in your head and making it explode. That's why I think it's crucial you take a little bit of a break. You don't have to start looking for a new job the moment you are fired, and nothing bad is going to happen if you take out a week or two. During this period, I found really helpful the Martin Seligman frameworks of the 3 Ps, which advises us to take care of 3 different types of thoughts, very common in any grieving process, being first of all personalization, i.e. thinking that this problem has happened to you because of your fault and it was targeted specifically to you, pervasiveness, which means that this problem is gonna permeate in all areas of your life, not only making you lose your job, but also making some of your friends respect you less and maybe deprecating a little bit of your health. And finally, permanence, which makes you think that this problem is never gonna get fixed and that you are never going to find another job. These 3 lines of thoughts are just as false as common in people, so don't worry if you have them, and just take a little bit of a closer look in the evidence against them. And this doesn't mean that you should ignore all your feelings throughout this process, because I've learned that every feeling is there for a reason, and even if anger and sadness are not comfortable feelings, they are there to teach you something. Because if you are mad at something, this means that you value more than you think the thing that has been threatened, and if you are sad about something else, this means that you need to change something there, and it's not like you are gonna be happy for being laid off. Alright, now that you have let yourself go through all the grieving process, it's time to sit down and think about this new exciting stage of your life. And here I have found very useful 3 exercises. First of all, Paul J. Meyer's Wheel of Life, which is an exercise in which you divide your life in 9 areas, starting on health, going all the way through relationships and work, and you fill up a proportion of the wheel corresponding on how comfortable you are with your life in that area. This means that you can clearly and visually see which areas of your life needs more attention, and if you've been laid off, of course work is gonna be one of them. But you may also find that you have lost, for example, a lot of your friendships because they were based on your work, or for some reason your work made you more healthy, so now your health needs a little bit more attention. The thing is to choose 1 or 2 areas to focus at a time, and put all your effort in exploring different paths that you can follow for that area. To explore these paths, the Odyssey plan from Designing Your Life is a great tool. The idea is to think how your life would look like 5 years from now, A, if you follow the same path you've been following so far, for example, continuing in the same position in the video game industry, B, how it would look like if you follow a path a little bit different, maybe if you switch position within the gaming industry, and C, and most interesting of all, how your life will be in 5 years from now if money and what other people say didn't matter to you. This is where the number of possibilities explodes, and you can find yourself thinking of switching careers, going freelance, or even starting a side hustle. Once you have these 3 options, a really cool strategy to decide which one is better is to weight them on some metric that is important to you. This is a technique I found in the Roll Less Stupid called the Option Analysis Matrix. This is no more than a table which weighs each option against different metrics like time, effort, or money. But all these results are measured against a metric of your own. For example, when I did this exercise myself, I used freedom, which is something very important to me, as the main metric for the exercise, discovering, for example, that being a freelancer sounded better on the paper than in reality. and that maybe being a programmer in the engineering field is not a bad option at all. The thing is that you need to decide for yourself which are your options and what do you value most of your career, because maybe that thing is not making video games, but enjoying every minute of your work, having a flexible schedule, or simply earning a lot of money, which are all acceptable and valid. I know that this process can be so hard for many people. It surely is hard for me, so the only way to go is to ask for help. I personally found a lot of support on my community, my close friends and my family, but I think you don't need that much people to go through this process. You may also need one accountability buddy who is one of those rare people who truly listens to you and is not judgmental but understanding on your decisions. This doesn't mean that they tell you always what you want to hear, but they have an open mindset about your decisions. And one really cool place to start looking for these people is on the game development mentor list, a super cool resource that some random ass guy, which I can't remember the name, I'm sorry, made a couple of years ago. I left a link in the description so that you can check it out. And if you don't feel like talking about this with anyone in particular, I would really advise you to write online about your struggles. Not only because this surely will help other people which are going through the same thing, but sometimes taking the time to write down your thoughts and expressing them in a readable way makes you not only feel better, but also find hidden solutions. For example, when I wrote about my own personal experience with LayOff, I discovered that I wanted to do different things that I thought, and of course I felt so much better when I received all the support I got. And the comment section below is a great place to start, because I have a lot of free time now that I don't have a job, so I will surely read you, don't worry. In any case, I know how difficult this process is, and while I'm sure that you can go through it, it's always better to have a little bit of help on the way. And one of the most common problems I'm facing right now with this layoff is feeling like I don't belong to this industry and that I'm not good enough. If this is also that you also struggle with, I think you will find super helpful this video right here, in which we explore how we can beat once and for all imposter syndrome in game dev. I really hope you find it helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you the best of luck. You have my most sincere support, and I see you later. Bye bye.